Good evening, everybody. Can you please take some seats? Are there enough seats? Okay, if you want to stand, stand. Let's stand for the pledge. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Board President, to advise members of the audience that they may address the board regarding agenda items after the superintendent's report. Only those members whose names and addresses are listed on the sign-in sheet available prior to the start of the meeting will be recognized during new business. The chairperson will limit discussions of any item by the public to 3 minutes in order for the board to expeditiously conduct its business. Mr. Manzo.
Thank you, Mr. Roon. Good evening, everyone.
Thank you, Mr. Roon. Good evening, everyone. At this time, we have a few recognitions. I would like to ask Mrs. Jones, principal of RCK, and Dr. Smith, principal of JFK, to come to the podium.
Good evening. Thank you for allowing us to be here tonight to recognize some of RCK and JFK's finest scientists. Before we do so, we're going to start with the science fair winners. I would like to call up a couple of our 4th grade teachers to join us. Mrs. Danowski, Ms. Comparato, and Ms. Quinlan. Come on up, because our science fair in East Islip has grown to be a long-standing 4th grade tradition. Our 4th grade teachers, along with our families and our students, work very hard every year. And I would just like to recognize the fact that over the past 8 years, East Islip has had in Suffolk County 2 honorable mentions, 2 county champs, and 1 state champ. So that is just a testament to the hard work of everybody involved, especially the teachers. Thank you. So we're going to call up our JFK and RCK first place winners and have them share a little bit about their project. So from RCK, we had a double this year. We had twins, Jason and Gianna Howard. Come on up.
Good evening. And from JFK, we had Emma Lemke. So congratulations, Emma. Come on up.
Hi, I'm Gianna Howard.
Hi, and I'm Jason Howard, and we are twins.
We like to think that because we are twins, we have better connection than non-twins.
So we decided to test to see if twin telepathy was real for our science fair experiment.
Our hypothesis was that while we hoped it would be real, that it likely would not be.
In total, we tested 12 sets of twins and 12 sets of non-twin siblings. We tested them in different blind testing matching games to see how frequently they matched the same answers.
We are disappointed to find out that our hypothesis was correct and our results did not support the idea of twin telepathy was real. Twins and non-twins both matched around 32% of the time.
That was our science fair experiment.
All right. Thank you so much, girls. Great job.
Hi, I'm Emma. Do I have to say my name? This past winter on Long Island was unusually cold. Many natural waterways froze completely. This caught my interest in how long it takes for different types of waterways to freeze, and I was curious to see if the salinity level in natural waterways affects this. For my project, I tested the salt levels of 4 different waterways. These samples included Brookwood Hall Lake, which is fresh, Champlain Creek, which is brackish, the Great South Bay and the Atlantic Ocean, which are salty. I tested the salinity level in each of these samples, put them in my freezer, and I observed what happened. I found that water with higher salt levels did take longer to freeze. This project is relevant and has implications. After this winter, I saw something called ice jacking happening around our local docks and marinas. This happens when an ice forms a grip around a piling and the tide comes up, destroys the structure. At Champlain Creek, they use a type of machine called a bubbler. A bubbler prevents ice from forming around the pilings by keeping the water moving. We are also seeing that marine life such as oysters have been impacted by the freezing water temperatures in this past winter. Knowing that the freeze point of our waters is important so that we can try to prevent this type of damage from occurring in our future.
Very nice. Congratulations.
Step back a little bit. Face the camera.
Wait, you guys want to come even out? There you go. Yeah, can we not get your certificates up? You guys can do the same. Just make sure that your names are facing the front left, okay? Yeah. Beautiful. Here we go. Big smile. 2, 3, one more. Perfect.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
And now we would like to recognize our STEAM winners in a STEAM tank competition that they had. And I would first like to introduce the teachers and thank them for all their hard work in putting the day together. Mrs. Masher from JFK and Mrs. Talbot from RCK.
Good evening, everyone. We would just like to take this opportunity to thank our judges that came and helped us judge this day. We had our competition at the end of March. For STEAM Tank, what our students do is they find an everyday problem and they come up with an invention to solve the problem. They take it about 3 months to really research and find the solution to their problem, and then they present it in front of a panel of judges. And this year we had some excellent competitors. The competition was very fierce, but we would like to introduce the winners of this year's contest. So I'm going to let Mrs. Talbot introduce RCKs.
This year's first place winners was the Chicken Feeder 3000. So this year's winners were Kyle Devone, Hunter Cravion, and Annalena Capolino and Lily Tringali. So if they could come forward and explain Ms. Masha will introduce hers and then they'll all explain.
I'd like to introduce our winners, Aislinn and Avery Garcia. If you guys want to come out. Aislinn and Avery invented the Dino Dig bucket, and they are actually working on an archaeological Lego set that they were able to present at the board meeting in the winter. So congratulations to our winners. Mrs. Talbot is going to have her students explain their project a little bit.
So our friend Hunter, who unfortunately couldn't make it today, has chickens, so we made a chicken feeder to help him lift the 50-pound bag of chicken feed. We made it so that it could help with carrying heavy feed for chickens, and so it could help carry other animal food, or it could help with disabilities to help carry heavy things.
We made it from a transmission jack, and we wrapped it around the chicken feed, and we made it from, what's it called?
Like a strap, kind of. Wood, and we put a strap around it. And we put a transmission jack with a hatch, so we could lift it up and it would pour the chicken feed in.
This year, our team created the Dig and Discover bucket, a real archaeology kit that lets kids dig up artifacts just like scientists. We also designed a LEGO archaeology set based on the real dig site and even submitted to LEGO for review. We wanted to inspire more kids to explore history, science, and discovery. We're proud of what we built and we're excited to keep digging into new ideas.
Thank you so much and congratulations.
They're all matching. There you go. Good job. Thank you.
At this time, I have questions for Steve to the podium.
Good evening, everybody. Thank you for coming. I'd like to take this opportunity to thank our superintendent, Mr. Manzo, and our district office personnel and the Board of Education for their continued support for all of our athletic teams here in the community. We had a very successful winter season, and I'm going to introduce our girls winter track coaches, Coach Reynolds and Coach O'Connor, and the Simonetti sisters to please come on up so we can talk about this past winter season.
It was a great season for the girls track team, in particular, Catherine Simonetti, Jr. Come on up, Catherine. Catherine? Catherine was the Section 11 champ in the pole vault. Catherine vaulted, before Catherine was pole vaulting, the school record was 6 feet 6 inches. And Catherine this year got up to 11 feet. It's the second consecutive county championship for Catherine. At the state championship, Catherine placed 16th place, which is, it's a wild experience when you're up there and see all these girls flying super high. Catherine's going to be hopefully repeating again in the spring, and then hopefully we'll be back here and celebrating next year another winter championship. Good job, Catherine. And Catherine's sister Danielle, come on up, Danielle. Danielle was the Section 11 champion in the 600 meters. This is Danielle's second championship in Suffolk County. Danielle went to the state championship and placed 13th. Danielle's time of 1:34.88 was a top 15 time in Suffolk County history. Danielle's time, unfortunately, was the second best time in East Islip history, to herself, last year. Danielle, as a senior, she's leaving East Islip with the following school records. In indoor track, she was the school record holder in the 300, the 400, the 600, the 1,000, along with being a part of the 4x200 meter relay, the 4x400 meter relay, and the 4x800 meter relay. Danielle basically has her name throughout all of her books. She's not happy that her sister has the pole vault record. Good job, Danielle.
I would now like to introduce our varsity wrestling coaches, Coach Longobardi and Coach Coppinger, to please come on up.
Thank you for the board, to the board for having us here tonight. Tonight we are recognizing our two very special wrestlers here, Rocco DiStefano and Christian Maurice, for being all-state. Both had a great season this year. Finishing top 8 in New York State is unbelievable. We haven't had two wrestlers place top 8 in East Islip since the last 12 years. So it is a special year, a special accomplishment by these boys. They competed at the MVP Arena, which hosts about 15,000 fans, and it was just a great, incredible experience that they had to perform on. Senior captain Christian Ruiz wrestled great at the state tournament, placed 8th overall, which is an outstanding achievement. Christian is ranked 10th all-time in East Islip history with 119 victories. He is a 5-year starter, 2-time league champion, an all-county wrestler, and now an all-state wrestler. We are extremely proud of Christian as he now is committed to LA U Post, and he plans to study education and physical education and health, and hopefully plans on becoming a coach one day. So give it up for Christian. Next up, senior Rocco DiStefano. Rocco, who had excelled both on the mat and in the classroom this year, maintaining a 92 GPA and earning a Minds in Motion award this season. At the state tournament, Rocco had an incredible run, advancing all the way to the finals and coming just short of the state title, finishing as runner-up. He finished his career with 176 victories, ranking 2nd all-time in East Islip history, right behind Jesse Della Vecchia, who was an NCAA finalist. Rocco also holds a record at East Islip, which is the most career pins. And Jesse held that record at 76, and Rocco now has 101 career pins, which is incredible. Some of Rocco's stats: he is a 6-year starter, 2-time league champion, 3-time All-County, Suffolk County champion, and now a New York State finalist. We are extremely proud of him as he plans to continue his journey at the New York Military Academy next year. Christian and Rocco, what you've accomplished is special, but who you are as people is what truly sets you apart. The discipline and heart you've shown every single day, that's what makes this program special. You've set the standard, you've raised the bar. You left a legacy that the next generation of BR wrestlers will chase for years to come. People may remember the wins and the records and the medals, but I'll remember the way you showed up every day, the way you competed, and the pride you carried representing this program. On behalf of the entire coaching staff, we thank you for everything you've given this team, and it's been an honor to coach you guys. Congrats, boys.
Thank you. Congrats again, guys. Thank you.
Now I would like to introduce to you our league, county, and New York State champions, varsity girls bowling team. Can everybody please come up? Can we please have the entire team come on up? going to hand the microphone over to Coach Dawson and Coach Mike.
Hi guys, thanks so much. Hey, EI Pride, man. Science kids, I cannot wait to see you get up to the high school. Miss Dawson, come see me. I'm so excited to see you. All you young ladies, you can come join us in 7th grade and middle school. A little recruiting doesn't hurt anybody. All right, hi. Hi. Thank you to everyone who came out tonight and is watching online. I'm so honored to have rejoined the athletic vein of the East Islip community once again. And here representing my bowling girls is truly a gift. Stepping into an established team with such talent can be a little intimidating. These girls have already taken home 2 county championships in a row when I came in. And taking on this role, my focus was to strengthen teamwork while continuing to push individual performance. We captured our league title, supported by outstanding individual performances across the board. Brooke Andreessen led Suffolk County with remarkable 222 average, a high game of 289. Earning a spot on the state team. Mia Liederman also secured a place on the state team with a 206 average and a high game of 257. Michaela Boyd earned all county honors with a 193 average and a high game of 268 and a perfect 36 for 36 match play. Peyton, all county, 178 average, 234 high game. Maureen Schweitzer, all league, 176 average, 267 high game. Rosie Crow, all league, 162 average, 217 high game. I mean, let's be for real, many of us here might have to take several games to bowl that one thing that they can get in one game. At our largest tournament in season, we continued to shine. Brooke Andreessen and Michaela Boyd placed second in the A doubles, while Andreessen took second in A singles. MJ captured first place in the B singles. Katie Coughlin and Corey Schweitzer earned first in the D doubles. Sage Lyons and Casey Ehat placed second in D doubles, so we took first and second in the D place. On February 7th, we claimed our 3rd consecutive county title in commanding fashion. The team rolled over 1,000 pins in 5 out of our 6 games, showcasing our consistency, depth, and focus that defined the program. From start to finish, we led the field, fueled by an electric atmosphere from both teammates and our supporters. Yay, parents. I brought on Coach Mike, who joined the girls during our postseason. He is our volunteer boys coach. He joined us for our postseason, bringing on the additional leadership and perspective as East Islip made our final push towards the state title. The state championship was in Syracuse, March 13th to the 18th, facing a very challenging oil pattern. That's a thing, everybody. Teams from across the state struggled to find their line in the oil. We stayed within striking distance early, trailing by a very narrow margin, and then everything clicked. By the end of game 4, we found our rhythm. They trusted each other, they made the adjustments, and they embraced the moment, living out our belief that pressure is a privilege. Pressure doesn't break strong teams, it reveals them. Michaela Boyd ignited the momentum with 8 consecutive strikes, energizing both her teammates and the crowd. We went on to knock down 5,637 pins over 6 games. We were the only team to surpass 1,000 pins in a single game that day and turned a 90-pin deficit into a 136-pin victory. The win marked East Islip's first state championship since 2014, when the program was led by Harold C. Cooley Jr., making the moment even more meaningful, not just for East Islip, but for Brooke, Michaela, and Rosie, who were also members on the final team that he coached. Brooke and Michaela finished on the top 10 bowlers during the team tournament. During the individual competition, Andreessen placed second in New York State, and Mia Liederman earned 6th in the state. Like diamonds formed under pressure, the team rose to the occasion, each athlete strong, unique, and essential. Together, they didn't just meet our expectations, we exceeded them.
In addition, 2 of our players were recognized by Newsday, all Long Island girls team, Mia Liederman and Brooke Andreessen. Brooke was also named Player of the Year. On top of that, Coach Dawson was named Newsday Coach of the Year.
Congratulations.
go on the side and that's where Come on up. And turn, you stay in the middle, and turn to the side, turn to the side, turn to the side. Thank you, thank you. Fold them over. Thank you, fantastic. Show your certificate. All right, I'll go on this side, I'll put my post for this side.
Very nice. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, and one more. Good job. Thank you.
Congratulations, ladies.
Thank you.
Once again, congratulations to all of our student athletes, coaches for all of their hard work, and for the parents as well. Thank you for your continued support of all of our athletic programs here in East Islip.
Thank you. At this time, Mr. Rulin, I will turn it over to Mr. Harrison for tonight's budget presentation. You guys are welcome to stay. Have a good night. Get home safe, guys.
Good evening, everyone. I guess it was something I said, so I apologize. But anyway, this is our third of 3 budget presentations. Unfortunately, it's going to look very similar to the other 2 since we do not yet have an approved state budget. On the agenda, the major changes to the presentation are on the last 2 of 3 bullets, the contingent budget and the capital reserve expenditure and transfer propositions. In terms of the current proposal from the governor, the amount of state aid supporting the budget for the 26-27 school year amounts to 0.84% or $347,000. While there's a large increase in the universal pre-kindergarten line, this line does not support the general fund budget. The tax levy cap, as calculated by the East Islip School District, is an increase of 1.86% over the previous year, or $1.4 million. The next 2 slides just depict the tax levy increase as compared to the allowable tax cap. As you can see, for the 26-27 school year, the 1.86% increase is at the tax levy cap. Each year, any school district makes a decision not to go to the maximum tax levy cap. There's an opportunity cost, which is the difference between the top and bottom lines. That is a cumulative impact over the number of years. So going back to 2016-2017, as you can see, each year not going to the tax levy cap has a cumulative impact where our levy could have been as high as $90,796,000 versus the $79 million that's supporting the budget currently. So based on the 1.86% increase, the homeowners can expect, on average, $149 increase to their tax bill as compared to last year. And that's for the average homeowner in the East Islip School District. So the two largest major contributors to revenue remain our property tax levy, I should say, it's $79 million, 60% of our revenue budget. And then state aid is next at $42 million, or 32%. It's important to note that the district is putting forth $7.3 million from reserves to balance the budget for next year. So if you haven't already picked up a budget presentation, there are some copies on the table, and you can look into greater detail as to the accomplishments and initiatives included in the budget going forward for next year. Moving on to expenses. In summary of salary and benefits, there's a combination of things happening. As you can see by salaries, the district is benefiting financially from teacher retirements, administrative retirements, and clerical as well, offset by increases that are contractually negotiated. On the benefits side, you see we have an increase of $2.1 million, or 6.35%. That's driven in large part by health insurance increases, as well as increases to the ERS retirement system. The remaining part of the budget is increasing by 4.13%, or $1.4 million, and as you can see, the overall budget versus last year is increasing by 2.41%, or $3.1 million. A large part of that increase has to do with special education students attending BOCE's placements, as well as anticipated increases in transportation contracts going into next year. Overall, salary and benefits continue to be 73% of our budget, and then the remaining 26.68 is on the following page. So with the contingent budget, this occurs after one or two defeated budgets by the community. If after the first budget the board is defeated, the board can make a decision to go directly to contingency or put the budget back up for a vote a second time. During a contingent budget, certain expenses are removed from that budget, and the remaining expenses are those that are deemed absolutely necessary to operate and maintain educational programs, preserve property, and ensure the health and safety of students and staff. Some of the things that do get removed from a contingent budget are non-contingent items such as student supplies and equipment. Other caveats that go along with a contingent budget is that your tax levy cannot be any greater than it was in the prior year, and the administrative component of the budget also has to not exceed the most recently passed budget. So under contingency, our budget would be only going up by $1 million, or 0.83%, as compared to the proposed budget at 2.41%. So as you can see, the budget would have to take over $2 million in decreases to reach a contingency budget. There are two other propositions going to be on the ballot this year related to capital expenditures. So the 2015-16 capital reserve, which was established back in 2016, which can no longer be funded, has remaining funds in it that we can use. So we have two uses of those funds on the ballot. The first one is to install power generators at high school in Timber Point, estimated to be about $1.4 million. And this is to support the critical systems in those buildings, mainly IT infrastructure, but also the HVAC, cafeteria, and refrigeration. Secondly, we have a proposition on the ballot to transfer $1.8 million from the older reserve to the newer reserve, which was established in 23-24. And anytime you spend or transfer from these reserves, you have to go out to a community vote. So the anticipation is, if approved this year, the following year we'll have a proposition on the ballot to renovate the Connecticut Elementary School kitchen and serving line, estimated at $1.8 million. Historically, if you look at the percentage increase column, which compares the levy over the past 10 years, on average, it's been a 1.1% increase. May 5th, we have a New York State required budget hearing. and then it'll be followed by the May 19th budget vote here in this building from 6 a.m. to 9 p.m. So at this point, if there are any questions from the board, I'd like to answer them.
Any questions? Nope. Thank you, Mr. Harrison.
Thank you.
And thanks for all your hard work in putting this together.
Thank you for your support. I appreciate it.
That's all you got. Okay. Student members report to the board. Ms. May.
Yes, good evening, everyone. I hope everyone is having a great April. We are now in the 4th quarter with spring sports currently underway. Earlier this month, we held our junior prom on April 17th, which was a great night for everyone who attended. Currently, the National Honor Society is currently holding its Gene Drive, which will run through April 30th, so thank you to everyone who contributed so far. The Key Club Talent Show will also take place tomorrow at 6:30 in the high school auditorium. And this Thursday, we will be recognizing our seniors at the High School Senior Departments Award from 6 to 8 p.m. in the high school library. And also next Tuesday, on April 28th, we will also be holding the World Language Honor Society induction and Seal by Literacy ceremonies from 7 to 9 p.m. In addition, student government will also be holding a community craft night on April 30th at 6:30 p.m. Looking ahead, Teacher Appreciation Week will also be from May 4th through May 8th, and we thank all of our teachers and staff for everything they do. AP exams will be taking place soon, so we wish all students the best of luck as they prepare. Lastly, April is Autism Acceptance Month, and we encourage everyone to continue promoting understanding and support within our school community. That concludes my report. Thank you.
Thank you for your information. Public comments on agenda items only. Okay, certified personnel. Be it resolved that upon the recommendation of the superintendent of schools, the Board of Education hereby approves the resignations, terminations, leaves of absence, position abolitions, employment appointments, tenure appointments, and salary changes in accordance with applicable provisions of education law and civil service law as cited in the certified personnel attachments. Can I have a motion?
Motion. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Non-certified personnel. Be it resolved that upon the recommendation of the superintendent of schools, the Board of Education hereby approves the resignations, terminations, leave of absences, position abolitions, employment appointments, tenure appointments, and salary changes in accordance with applicable provisions of the education law and civil service law as cited in the non-certified personnel attachments. Can I have a motion?
Motion. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Dr. O'Rourke.
Thank you, Mr. Ruland. At this time, I would like to recognize two of our clerical staff, extraordinary employees. Donna Champy, who has been working in the district since November 1985, and Janet Nacarado, who started in February 2001. Tonight on the non-certified personnel agenda, their resignation for purposes of retirement was accepted by the Board of Education. We'd like to thank them for their dedicated service to East Islip and wish them the best of luck in their retirement.
Good. And Jessica Champy will give you the party information on that. Okay, items to be removed from the consent agenda. Anything that needs to be removed from the consent agenda?
Mr. President, can we remove 9.20 and 9.21?
Yes, we can. We'll address that after we do the consent agenda. Okay, consent agenda item numbers 9.1 to 9.19. Be it resolved that upon the recommendation of the superintendent of schools, the Board of Education hereby approves consent agenda item numbers 9.2 to 9.19 in accordance with the action presented for each of them. Can I get a motion?
Motion. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, budget adoption. Be it resolved that upon the recommendation of the superintendent of schools, the Board of Education hereby adopts the budget for the 2026-2027 school year with proposed expenses of $132,460,345.82. Can I get a motion?
Motion. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Property tax report card. Be it resolved that upon the recommendation of the Superintendent of Schools, the Board of Education, as required by State Education Law Section 1608, 1716, Subdivision 7, and Section 2601-A, Subdivision 3, hereby approves a property tax report card for the 2026-2027 school year. Can I get a motion?
Motion. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, 10.1, be it resolved that the Board of Education of the East Islip Union Free School District, in accordance with Education Law Section 1950, hereby approves, what disapproves the Eastern Suffolk BOCES tentative administrative budget for the 2026-2027 school year, and authorizes the Assistant District Clerk to provide notification to the Eastern Suffolk BOCES clerk. I make a motion to approve it. Can I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Eastern Suffolk BOCES Annual Board Election 2026-2027. Be it resolved that the East Islip Union Free School District Board of Education authorizes the Assistant District Clerk to record the outcome of the election on the official ballot and notify Eastern Suffolk BOCES of the results of the vote for the 5 open BOCES board seats for terms commencing on July 1st, 2026. These are the candidates. Susan Lippman, we approve. Motion? Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Good. Joseph Lascivio? Approve? Yes. Ann Macchese?
Aye.
Aye. Victoria Malloy? Aye. Catherine Romano? Aye. They're all approved. Be it resolved that upon the recommendation of the Superintendent of Schools, the Board of Education hereby approves the attached list of appropriation changes for the 2025-2026 school year. Can I get a motion?
Motion. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Donation for the high school. Be it resolved that upon the recommendation of the Superintendent of Schools, the Board of Education hereby accepts the donation of a 47-inch Samsung television from Vivian Riley, a social worker at the high school. The television is valued at $40 and will be used in the guidance office to advertise upcoming events to students and parents when they are in the guidance office. Can I get a motion?
Motion. Second.
All in favor? Aye. Thank you for that donation, Ms. Riley. Donation for the Timber Point Elementary School. Be it resolved that upon the recommendation of the Superintendent of Schools, the Board of Education hereby accepts a donation from a parent of a rocking chair to be used in a first grade classroom at Timber Point Elementary School. This will be a nice addition to the classroom. Can I have a motion?
Motion. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you for that donation. An additional donation to the Timber Point Elementary School. Be it resolved that upon the recommendation of the Superintendent of Schools, the Board of Education hereby accepts a donation from Cub Scout Pack 205 of a red oak seedling, which will be planted on the grounds of Timber Point Elementary School, along with a commemorative plaque. The pack is looking to participate in the Planting It Forward to 2020-76, which launches on April 24th, Arbor Day. Can I get a motion?
Motion. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Old business. Old business? Okay. New business. Go ahead, Richard.
Introduced under new business for the board's consideration this evening is policy number 5425, automated external defibrillators. This is a new policy developed in consultation with legal counsel and required by law. It establishes guidelines for the placement, maintenance, and use of AEDs across the district, ensuring compliance with current safety requirements and best practices. Also introduced under new business this evening is the Spring 2027 Europe Student Travel Program. This proposal has been developed by our high school social studies staff for students in grades 11 and 12. The program includes travel to historically significant locations in Berlin, Krakow, Prague, and Budapest, with a focus on World War II history and civic understanding. The experience is designed to include both academic and cultural components, providing students with meaningful, real-world learning opportunities aligned to district goals.
Thank you, Rich.
Mr. Rulon, just under new business, I just wanted to mention that SEPTO is having their annual craft fair May 2nd here on the grounds of the ECC building from 10 to 4. I just want to encourage the community to come out and support SEPTO. They're a good organization. They do very good things for the district as well as the students of the district. So I just wanted to mention it. Thank you, Mr. Rulon.
Thank you, Mr. Dorgan. Any public comments?
Yes, we have two. Michelle Wolfcon.
Ms. Wolfgang, can you step to the podium?
Good evening. My name is Michelle Wolfgang. I'm the parent of a graduating senior in the class of the 2026. I want to be clear, this is not a question about compliance with New York State Education Department. I understand it's regarding the Regents exam schedule in coordinates with senior events. I just want to recognize I also understand the longstanding considerations that go into scheduling the senior events, including prom. But my main concern is not with those traditions, with the overall scheduling impact when it's viewed together, when it's all viewed together. The concern is what is it within the district's control. The graduation scheduling is a local decision under my understanding. The current alignment is prom is followed by a high-stakes Regents exam that physics that morning at 9 a.m. It creates a foreseeable and avoidable strain on a group of students who are both academically committed and are participating in these milestone events. I did reach out to the board last week, and I appreciate that I've received a response to my initial email indicating, would the district be supporting the students so that they're positioned for success. However, and they did respond back, however, based on the current classroom experience, that assurance is unclear in its practice. The class is presently focused on completing labs from the year, and they're continuing new instructional content rather than engaging in any Regents review and readiness. So I followed up with an email to address that, because again, prom and graduation and the physics exam is the morning after prom. That's basically what this is all about. When I followed up, so I am respectfully asking the board to review a few different things. Basically, the scheduling conflict, if anything was ever looked at when the Regents exam schedule was released in mid-2025, is it evaluated to see overall student impact? So these back-to-back milestone events and the major high-risk exam at 9 a.m. the morning after prom, same day as graduation, it's a little tough. What specific measures are currently in place to support those affected students academically? And does the district plan to approach scheduling anything different in the future? Maybe graduation is the following day, I don't know. But it's not just about scheduling, it's about the experience we're creating for our students in their final days of high school. They've worked really hard to reach these milestones, and I would appreciate any guidance the board would have on this matter. Thank you.
I appreciate your comments. And when it's brought to our attention, well, first I called Mr. Manzo. I know you spoke to them first, and we addressed it today at our exec board. The problem is when the state puts out a schedule, we don't know the exact date until it's too late. We are going to talk to the state and try to get an earlier indication of the exact dates of these things. The graduation, we have it on Thursday, so we have the rain date Friday. We've always done that, so we can't change anything this year. But I assure you, we're going to look into it and be a little more diligent to try to take care of everybody involved. And that's just a weird situation with the physics regions. When I took physics, it was after I graduated. I went to St. John the Baptist. I didn't take it. I was in the military. I was in basic training. I didn't need it because I was getting the diploma anyway. But still, things like that probably happen across the county. And I'm sorry that you're in this situation and your child's in this situation. But this year, I really appreciate your comments. Nobody brought that up to us in a while, because it hasn't happened in a while. But in the future, we are going to be a little more diligent to consider everything that's going on.
Thank you.
And I appreciate your comments.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
No problem. Ms. Nolan, how are you?
I'm good, but I'm here for the same reason, and I also wrote you an email about this, and I just don't see how this is educationally sound, how you can expect these youngsters to perform well in a physics regions. My son is struggling in this class, and you know, FOMO is a real thing. Even if I make him come home right after prom, all the things that lead up to prom, right? All the picture taking, the partying, the this, that. Even if I make him come home right off that bus, that is going to cause a major problem in my home. And that is going to ruin graduation for me and my family. And I just don't understand how nobody has yet to call this Sterling venue, see if there is an alternate date that we can do that would appease all seniors. I mean, this is just, to me, it's discrimination against the children who take physics. It is a known fact that the physics regions happens last, and I understand that as an educator, that that's based on numbers. There's less kids that take it, less kids that have to grade it. And let's face it, how many kids are needed to actually graduate? So the fact that you're having it first thing in the morning after prom, it's horrible. And nobody seems to care about these youngsters who have to take this exam, or as the parent who has to make this child.
Okay. Again, I appreciate your concerns. Nothing's going to happen this year, and I'm sorry about that.
I understand that, but my research...
We did move the regions an hour, I believe. I know it's only an hour, but it's some type of accommodation.
It is, but my understanding is the venue is booked 2 years in advance. This specific date is picked a year in advance. The Regents exams were released on June 23rd, 2025. That's a matter of maybe a few months. Somebody dropped the ball. Nobody thought to look at this. And you can't tell me this has not been a problem when schools have put the prom the night before graduation, that the Regents exam hasn't been an issue.
We haven't had that problem in many years.
Because the prom, I have 2 older children, the prom has not been this close to graduation in a few years. Now, whether that's COVID related or not, the prom has not been this close to graduation in several years. And I think it's unfair to these children.
Okay.
I invite all of you to come over to my house that morning of graduation.
What would you like me to do?
Come to my house that morning and help my son get off to his physics exam.
That's what you want, I'll be there.
Thank you.
And I'm sorry about the situation, but again, nothing's going to happen this year. We'll be more diligent in the following years. Anybody else, Gigi? Okay. The next Board of Education regular business meeting, an annual budget hearing, will be held on Tuesday, May 5th, 2026 at 7 p.m. May I have a motion to adjourn?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. We're adjourned.